Imagine how life would be if you never worried about anything at all. You didn't worry about the consequences. You didn't worry about hurting people. You didn't worry about being hurt yourself. And the only thing that you could see were the results that you were going to attain. Like if you could simply turn this aspect of yourself off, can you imagine how beautiful your life would be? Because everything that is holding us back from getting where we want to go comes down to all the worries that we have. We have some sort of small responsibility towards everybody that we meet, especially our loved ones. And we think that we are not supposed to be taking this risky action because we will be in a worse position. And perhaps your analogy is correct and you will be in a worse position than you were initially. But perhaps that worse position is only temporary because look a little bit further ahead in time. 9 times out of 10, the decision that you have made, which is painful in the moment, will result in a better life long term. And yet we worry that we're not going to make it. You know, it's a natural defense mechanism of our brain to put ourselves in some sort of, how could I call it? To put us in a state of fear. Because that's all it is, basically. You know, we don't like to change things around. We don't like to go into the unknown. Because the unknown is exactly that what it is. It is unknown. We don't know what is going to come. We don't know what we are going to experience. We don't know what kind of obstacle we will face, what kind of challenges we need to overcome. And that is quite scary in and of itself, and your body recognizes this. Your mind knows this. This is how we've been able to survive for many centuries. But we actually don't need it. Like in the day and age of today, we don't need to be fantasizing about some crisis that is going to happen that we need to prepare ourselves for. Because we can simply have that goal that we want to achieve in mind and accept that what we are going to go through is going to be painful. And that is something that we don't really tend to do. Because what we try to do naturally is we try to avoid that what is going to be painful. And what is going to be painful is the unknown. So we stay in our comfort zone and nothing really changes. And then fast forward 5 years later, you look back at your life and you think, fuck, I'm still exactly in the same position as when I started off. And that's when you have to ask yourself the question, well, why the fuck am I in that position in the first place? Oh yeah, well, because I worried too much about going into the unknown that I didn't really take the action that was necessary. I was afraid of the consequences. And yet, that fear of the consequences got you to be in the same position as you were before. Now, that is more painful, isn't it? Like, what is more painful? Doing nothing with yourself while being ambitious and having a certain idea that you want to realize for yourself. Taking action and eventually reaching that goal despite going through quite some dark times for yourself, of trying to figure things out. Who am I? What am I going to do? How am I going to get this done? Oh, this person declined. Oh, I got to move forward to this thing. Oh, I got to change my trajectory because my plan that I had initially didn't work out. Or doing exactly nothing and then realizing that you've wasted 5 years of your life doing jack shit because you were afraid. Honestly, I think, and I believe if I can answer that question for you, the second one is more painful. And we can simply avoid that reality by accepting the worries that we have and still deciding to go with what we had in mind. Because you have to accept the pain. You have to accept going through discomfort. There's something that's known globally, and that is growing pain. Or grow pain. Like, I don't know what it's called in English, but it's the pain that you experience in puberty while growing. We can accept that and we can acknowledge that to be the case and know that, okay, we are growing. That's why we feel the pain in our bodies, in our knees, in our tendons, everything. In our hips, we get stretch marks. Oh, it's all good, it's all fine, I'm growing, and now I'm happy. But when that comes in more of a psychological way, and physical way, and emotional way, we then suddenly want to stop going through that. And that's what we have to turn off. We have to turn our brains off at that point to quit worrying about what it's going to do, because it is exactly necessary to go through that. And the only way that you can beat that resistance, because that is exactly what it is, it's resistance that is appearing in your life, that is appearing for taking the action that is required for you to get where you need to go, and run with it. Because over time, that resistance will fade away, and you will realize that it had no power to begin with unless you've allowed it to take control over you. The more you worry, the more you'll be awakened to the infinite amount of possibilities that could happen when you are chasing your goals. There are a number of things that you can complain about. There are a number of things that you can be afraid of. And when you stop worrying, that all fades away because it doesn't matter anymore. And when you stop worrying, you shift your mindset from a negative one to a more positive one. Because at the end of the day, a worry is never positive. A worry is always something negative. You never worry about something good to happen. No, you look forward for something good to happen. But when you worry, you don't want something to happen, so you do everything that you can to avoid it to take shape in your life. But fuck it. Embrace it. Embrace that what you worry about. Embrace that what is going to come into your life, the challenge that you have to overcome. Because if you don't accept those challenges, if you don't accept those obstacles, if you don't accept the pain that is waiting there for you to go take it and overcome it, you will never reach the next level, because life is a game and you have to level up. And the only way to level up is to play the game of life. Or you choose to stay inside, to stay comfortable, be a fucking house rat, and do nothing with yourself, watching the birds flying by, and being so fucking miserable by being the same level in life while everybody else in some sort of way is leveling up. Even if they're working a 9 to 5, they are still doing more than what you are doing. The only way that you can stop being worried about everything in life is to imagine how someone else would resolve this problem. So think of, for example, somebody you look up to. That can be anybody. That can be your coach. That can be your father. That can be, I don't know, fucking Andrew Tate. Doesn't matter. Just imagine how that person is solving the problem that you are going through. And that helps you to get like an idea of what you can do yourself and how to solve it. Because simply telling someone to stop worrying isn't really going to work. Because it only gives you more reason to protect yourself when you are already at a vulnerable position. I'm going to leave it at this. I hope I've been able to get some sense into you. Remember that you are 100% responsible for the results in your life. Make the hard decision today. Take action. And I'll see you in the next one. All right? Bye-bye.